Hi, everybody. Welcome to this week's yoga session. I am going to focus on balancing. So, we are going to do 3 or 4 standing balances, and then in between, we will do the related stretches that help us to stay in balance. So, that's the plan for today. We'll start with some breathing. So, sitting cross legged, or you can stretch your legs straight out. Hands on your thighs, palms facing upwards, forefinger to your thumb. Just roll your shoulders back away from your ears. Pull up from your hips. Take your weight forward slightly so your spine stays nice and long. Close your eyes and chin down. And let's just take a few deep breaths here. As we breathe, we slowly take our focus and attention to the breathing as best as we can. As we inhale, belly rises, floating ribs go outwards, chest lifts, and as we exhale, we gently pull everything back into the center, so belly button in towards the spine, floating ribs and chest fall back in place. 40% of the breath work in the belly, 40% in the floating ribs, 20% in the chest. As we keep those things in mind, let's go into 4 counts to inhale, 8 counts to exhale. We'll do 4 breaths like that. Inhale for 4, exhale for 8. Efficient inhale, controlled exhale. When you finish, slowly bring your head up, open your eyes, and then we'll go into an Ujjayi breath exercise. So we'll do 5 to inhale, 10 to exhale, 4 deep breaths like that. So chin to your chest. Everything else remains the same. You should feel like you are using your throat to inhale and exhale, not so much your nostrils. The air still goes in through your nose, but you are feeling that in your air passage, almost hearing the breath go in and out. Five to inhale, 10 to exhale. 3 more breaths. When you finish, slowly bring your head up, open your eyes, and come to a standing position. So now we are in a standing position with our feet parallel, just a little bit of distance between the feet, weight right in the middle of our feet. And we're going to take a stretch here. So inhale, take your hands up through the sides, all the way up. Interlace your fingers, and as you exhale, stretch up. Chin to your chest, find a focus point on the floor, and let's take 3 deep breaths. As you exhale, slowly bring your hands back down, and from here we will take a nice forward fold stretch. So as you inhale, taking your hands all the way up, keeping them parallel. As you exhale, just come all the way forward into a full forward fold. Your knees can be bent in this position. Your knees can be straight. Just keeping your hands down, either on the mat, on the tops of your feet, holding your ankles, or just hugging behind your knees or your calf, whatever works. Slowly, as you inhale, you're going to come into a half forward fold position with your hands down on your knees. So your spine stays nice and long, belly button parallel to the floor, and then chin to your chest so that the back of your neck stays nice and in line with the rest of your spine. Slowly, as you inhale, coming all the way back up. And from there, we'll take a balance. Inhale, taking your hands all the way up. Interlace your hands behind your head. Exhale and stretch up. As you inhale, you're going to just lift your heels off the floor so you stay on the balls of your feet. So really feel like you're engaging the big muscles of the leg right here, not just your calf muscles. And you should feel like you're going forward. You can even exaggerate the forward a little bit to keep that balance. And as you exhale, slowly, deliberately bring your heels back down on the mat. Take a nice deep inhale where you're at. And as you exhale, slowly bring your hands back down. From there, we'll just repeat that balance. So inhale, taking your hands all the way up. Interlace your fingers behind your head. And as you exhale, just stretch up. When you're ready on the exhale, move your weight forward over to the balls of your feet and then take your heels off the floor. Find a focus point, and like I said, exaggerate the forward, so if anything, you fall forward, and really engage the muscles of the hips, the gluteal muscles, butt muscles, so they are really holding us up. The hip flexors are nice and straight. You're going to feel this in your calf muscles as well, but trying to engage the bigger muscles helps to stay in balance. As you exhale, slowly lower the heels down. Once your heels are down, stay there. Take a nice deep inhale. And as you exhale, slowly bringing your hands back down. And then we will take a balance in the tree position. So standing on the right leg, you're going to take your left leg to the right inner thigh. So place the sole of that left foot on your inside, on your right inner thigh. It doesn't have to be so far up. It doesn't have to be so far out either, depending on where our hips are. So you can just keep your leg here or bring it up. It can be, depending on how much your hips open, your knee doesn't have to go so far out. It can be here. Holding the balance. On the standing leg, you really want to feel lifted from the gluteal muscles and the hips and the butt. So really lifted. So this right hip flexor stays nice and long, and you lengthen, strengthen. So you take your hands up. I just want to make sure you're able to see me fully. Once we are done, when you're done, you can slowly bring your hands back down and with control, just come out of that balance. You can hold it for however long you want. You can hold it for a couple more deep breaths if you wish, but I am just getting us there and holding it for 3 or 4 deep breaths and coming back down because we'll repeat. Now, standing on the left leg with taking our right foot to the left inner thigh. Again, like I said, leg can be lower down, doesn't have to be so turned out, depending on where your hips let you have that balance, just keep it there. And then you can take your hands up. The standing side, which is our left side, is nice and long. Standing hip flexor is long. The butt muscles are engaged. Really should feel like your weight is going more forward than back. Once we are there, once we have the balance, we're just going to try and take 3 deep breaths. And with balancing, well, we may just have it, or we may have to work on it for a few minutes to have it. So you can always pause the video, get in your balance, and then you can continue when you're done with your balance. And as we exhale, slowly coming back out of it. And then we'll go into the next balance, the dancer. We're going to stand on our right leg, take our left heel, left hand to the left ankle, and then take the left heel to the left bottom this way, and then take the free hand out. Once we get there, we're going to take 3 deep breaths. And slowly come out of that. And then we'll do the same thing over to the left side. So standing on the left leg, taking the right heel to the right bottom, right hand to the right leg. So as we do this, we're just going to get the first time we're doing this, we're just going to get a stretch in the quads, and that's all we'll focus on. So just get a stretch in the quads, the left hand going out. Think about, as you're holding that balance, weight forward and sternum lifted, so sternum to the sky. And if you've taken 3 deep breaths, you're welcome to take more. But if you're done with that, just come back down with control. And then we'll do the dancer again. And this time we can repeat just the exact same thing that we already did. Or we can do a slightly harder, a slightly deeper balance. So again, standing on the right leg. This time, you really want to think of your 4 fingers holding the top of that foot and the thumb holding the bottom of the sole of the foot. And you pull that leg in the first time. So this time you're going to push the hand away. So you really feel that hand stretching. And then you take that right hand out. So the more you push away and you want to feel like you're lifting your leg up instead of pulling it in towards you, just lift up. Try your best to keep this hip flexor facing down, this hip flexor facing down. It's hard to do sometimes depending on our hip bone structures. Soften that knee of the standing leg. If you feel like you're overstretching your hamstring, you can just soften it a little bit, but try your best to not overbend the knee also. And slowly release and come out of that. Then we'll do the same thing over to the other side. This time we're going to stand on the left leg and then take the right leg up. So the minute we take our leg up high, we want to go down this way, which is fine. That's automatic. The body does that automatically. Which we will go forward a little, but you also want to feel the front portion of the body stretching up. So really think of trying to keep the sternum to the sky. So while we are here, standing on the left leg, right hand to the right foot, thumb on the sole, fingers on the tops of the foot, push away, lift. That's going to take you forward a bit, but don't bend forward all the way. Try to lengthen forward. slowly, when you're ready, you can come out of that. And then we'll take a little stretch here. Inhale, taking our hands up. As you exhale, just go into a little half squat. So in that half squat, really thinking, feet apart, weight onto your hips. So weight isn't too far forward, it isn't too far back. So right in the middle of your feet, so your hips can take the weight of your body. Slowly inhale, come back up. As you exhale, bring your hands back down. Then we'll go into one more balance, the eagle. So we'll just do the legs this time. And the hands just stay palms together, heart center. We're going to sit in, just like the half squat, we're going to sit in on both those legs. And then we're going to take the left over the right. This is fine, you can stay here. But if you can just bring that left foot around the right leg, kind of helps to stay there. If not, just stay right here. Once you have your balance, you're going to take 4 deep breaths. And slowly release, come out of it, and then we'll go over to the other side. So while you're there, it just feels like the half squat. So if your weight is right in the middle of your feet and then most of your body weight is being taken by your hips, then you won't feel it as much in your knees. But if you're really too far forward and then you're trying to cross your legs, then you're definitely going to feel a lot of this in your knees, and you're trying to not feel that way. So just taking, getting into that half squat and then taking the right leg over the left. You can stay there. If you can, take that right foot, wrap it around the left leg. You're welcome to do that. And slowly disengage, come out of that control. Then we'll take a little stretch here. Inhale, taking our hands up parallel. As you exhale, come into a half forward fold, flat back, spine forward. This time our hands are forward. As you exhale, going all the way down into a full forward fold. Slowly inhale, coming back up into the half forward fold. And then as you inhale, come all the way up. And as you exhale, slowly bring your hands back down. And then we will do one last balance before we are done. We will take the warrior. So we can stand on our right leg first. So bending that right knee. So really taking the weight of the right leg on your right inner thigh and then keeping that left leg far back. That will be warrior 2, and then you take that into warrior 1. So you're going to have both your hip bones facing forward, taking your hands up, and then just take it to a nice long spine. So the leg can be lower, which is fine, but really bring your spine forward and keep your belly button parallel to the floor. You can keep your hands by your sides, this way, or all the way in front, whatever works for your balance. And slowly come back out of it. So we'll go over to the other side. So a few things to keep in mind as we do the warrior. While your leg can be lower, you want to go forward. So you have a nice long spine, your weight stays forward, and it's okay if your leg is not too high up, but eventually you work your way to taking your leg a little bit higher because it actually makes it easier to balance, and also trying to keep this hip bone facing down instead of this way because that kind of throws us off balance. So just keeping these things in mind, we'll go over the balance one more time on the other side. So the left leg is bent, left knee is bent. So all that weight is on the left inner thigh. Take a nice deep inhale here in Warrior 2. As you exhale, take it to Warrior 1. On your next exhale, just move that over to one leg. So slowly just take your weight forward, spine forward, long spine. Leg is lower down, higher up. That's fine. Just make sure the hip stays in position. 3 deep breaths. As you exhale, slowly coming back out of the warrior balance. And that was the balancing for today. We'll just take a stretch here. Inhale, taking your hands up, keeping them parallel. As you exhale, just coming all the way into a full forward fold. Chin to your chest. Nice loose shoulders, loose neck. You're going to roll out of this full forward fold, soften your knees. Just start from your lower back and release one part of the spine at a time to come all the way up. And once you are up, that will be it. So we'll go to a seated position and we'll do a breathing exercise before we finish. So go ahead and come to a seated position. We will do 3 cycles, Ujjayi breath. Inhale, hold your breath, exhale, hold your breath. Inhale, hold, exhale, hold. 6, 6, 12, 6. Just 3 cycles. So sitting cross-legged, hands on our thighs, palms up, 4 fingers to the thumb, chin to your chest. When you finish those 3 Ujjayi breath cycles, you can bring your head up and open your eyes, and we will say Om. So exhale together here, just a breath. Taking a nice deep inhale for Om. Stay with your eyes closed. Take 3 deep breaths. All right, thank you all so much for joining me for this week's yoga session, which was focused on standing balances. And I will see you next week. Thank you so much. Namaste. Keep breathing, keep practicing.